That's mostly being good. In fact, oh right. Well, it's just very bright in here, but I'm gonna turn out some lights. I'm having something weird. It's actually the title actually is also what's transpiring right now, and I'm just curious if anybody has ever experienced this. Um, I wonder. I think I recently discovered that I can retitle something too, depending on. I mean, sure. I maybe it's a Friday night. Just putting on some chapstick. Friday night, and here I am just putting on some chapstick. This is gonna be the last podcast of my life. 4 days into 2024. I'm finding it a bit bright, even though the dog's not hyper because I'm doing this with the music barely on. Actually, it is. I do still hear it a little bit, though I turned it down, but not completely. But anyway, so basically, yeah, I really, I know. I'm gonna try something because it makes sense to try it, and I'm just gonna try it and see what happens with it. But initially, when I really felt this, um, um, it it I said a couple of funny things to myself, and then I thought, I don't know if it's probably gonna still be quite bright in here because the main light's on, and then I thought, maybe I should do a podcast, which is both funny, also kind of not maybe I don't know, and a, a very um, unique form of a podcast that like I'm doing this kind of spur of the moment. Uh, the other person in the house just went upstairs to do a fitness session, and the person goes, and basically, okay, well that's interesting. Um, but yeah, what am I doing out here? I'm getting water because when I was reading something, and this is also something I don't experience very often, when I was reading something, partly I don't think I do this very often either, but I found, like, did I just say that? I'm not trying to be silly, really, but silly, really, but I'm naturally, I try to have a sense of humor and make funny rhymes and stuff, and not realize that the water that I put there less than 2 hours ago and is sitting right in front of me was right there, and I walked right into the kitchen, and seen. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit the title, and then so I don't know certain things you can do, especially with this channel, where you'd be able, where somebody who, if they were searching for a certain something, they might see the most recent or the latest podcasts on those, and I feel like I don't think it was other social media. I feel like on Facebook once, or no, on YouTube once rather, um, and nobody's watching at the moment. I haven't been rolling that long. I think I saw someone briefly, um, but for anybody who's watching after, when I do these and that's the case, to remember that people do view after, and please put your comments. The channel's about love and kindness, which isn't that hard, and I mean, I just want to preface that because we, don't want to have to deal with broken brothers and this that. But basically, yeah, so um, does the person who indicates along the top just tuned in viewing? Legit question here. Are you a doctor, or do you know any doctors that you could bring into this live stream, like in the chats? And suddenly we get four people, and you may not have gotten the full question, but that might be a record for a while. And Happy New Year, by the way. So I am having a bit of an experience tonight. And if there's anybody that has a medical background or knows somebody that does, who you can try and tag their YouTube channel or something, and to join the live chat, because I'm not concerned enough with what I'm experiencing to consider. Sorry, I'm just trying to, yeah, there. Not concerned enough. Sorry if my eyes went funny for a moment there. They kind of feel that way to call for like emergency help, but I'm not sure if it's getting to that. And basically, I just need to take a sip of water. But so whether you're medical and I understand some if you once you invite people in, until they see the invitation, they might not see all of this at once. So that once it's posted, they can go back and watch it. Basically, and I really appreciate that all four of you have stayed for a couple minutes here and hopefully continue to stay. I don't think I'll do a super long podcast here. This is serious. If you've ever seen them before and I seem like I'm being goofy, this is serious. And I can't remember the other thing I was going. Oh, that I know it maybe doesn't seem like there's all that much wrong, but as we get a fifth viewer, basically, I okay. So I am undiagnosed with, but I believe I have something by Googling, and I've came across this before, as it goes before, that is called cystitis. I'm being very open here because, like I say, this is a weird experience where I don't know if I need, I need medical attention or just to like wait it off or what I should do. So I believe I have the bladder condition cystitis or something like that as it goes to one. And, I would either look up symptoms or look up bladder conditions and it would show up. And, again, very brave of me to share this, but, like, I mean, there's parts of me that are ambivalent about living, and there are parts of me that do actually want to, So basically, and I can't remember, as suddenly it goes 1 to 6, there was something, I think I have that up on here, actually. What did I search? Yeah, so I'm having these symptoms. Let me just say that, and then I'll maybe say what the causes are. You know how every now and then, I'm sorry, I was finding that I was not holding it steady, but I'm also finding leaning that much forward is awkward. Um, you know, um, sometimes you have like a tingly hand or whatever, your hand goes to sleep or your foot goes to sleep, right? But it was both hands for never had this happen before. It was both hands. Right now, I just feel like I need to change the support behind my back. I have mild scoliosis, and I have since I was a kid. But and then it started to be the padding underneath the toe. I mean, I've been on my feet, honestly, really fairly hectically. Well, because I wander around when I'm on the phone too at home. Um, I feel like more than I am, even though I have a fairly sedentary lifestyle. But obviously people got to move around. Like I'm not to the point where I'm like bedridden or anything. As we get three viewers, but basically, or it went from I think 6 to 3. But basically, in all seriousness, this has been is what I mean. But okay, I'm gonna say what I think is causing this. Besides a couple possibly developing health issues as it goes to 9, which I have. Maybe they were going to get their friend. Developing health issues that I, yeah, have self-diagnosed with the help of Google, but I've, and some of you maybe even relate because you have this situation as well. Um, some bladder definitely. I have an enlarged prostate. A doctor did tell me that, but I also and I can't. It's only because what I said earlier. I don't know if this needs emergency attention or not, but I am feeling a numbness or numbness. Okay, I'm trying to remember. I have not done substances much really in my life actually. um every now and then, special occasion or back before the pandemic, and I've never been a heavy drinker. I used to go to karaoke a lot, but I am actually musical, and like I actually would rather not drink if I'm going to be singing. Or I know that it doesn't take much, and this is when I was a bit lighter but not much, because I'm about bad at this kind of stuff, but I think I'm about maybe 210, 215. And basically, and I must apologize to the one that we have viewing at the top at the moment. If I am incoherent in this, please forgive me. I'm not doing this for entertainment. I'm not trying to, and I must say that if anything is happening to me, because I'm trying to figure out what I'm experiencing here, if it gets like worse, or like, a while back actually YouTube showed me a video. I was watching a very interesting one about celebrities not recognizing celebrity, or people not recognizing celebrities, but there was one. Okay, I need to, I can't ignore it. I think the most important thing to say as I'm doing this video, and I mean, hopefully some of the ones that were there before come back, and they maybe were just going to help get medical, contacts that they know to see this. And this video, I'm curious to see how popular it's going to be, but I'm not doing it for the popularity. I don't want to say that maybe that's never a bit of a reason. Right now, it's definitely not. So basically, as we get two viewers, and I'm trying to figure out what's kind of going on with my system here. So, and the thing is that there are some subtle changes, or things seem to maybe feel a bit better for a few seconds. So I don't know. What do they call that when a person is like, not a cadaver, no. Like there's somebody has something very rare, and whether they figure out what it is and can treat it, or somewhat treat it, or not, and then they almost became like, I forget the word, but and it's like, so and so was made famous for having a rare health condition. I don't know if that's what this is, for instance. And again, I'm not trying to be made famous, but when you are one of very few, this day and age, things, would get out quite easily, right? Or even, just average celebrities or whatever. But basically, so, and the viewer just went. But for anybody who watches this afterwards, or like is, like I said, maybe this particular one, it could happen more, where maybe they said, oh yeah, I do know, whether it's a personal page or whatever, I do know a doctor or this and that, because I don't. Well, my spouse's sister is a retired nurse. I'm not sure what type of nurse, and if she would know either way. It's amazing though, because not only does she seem the type that gets easily queasy, but she also, and I'm not going to sit here talking about her, but she also, I feel, gets anxious. I mean, it maybe comes with being a nurse for however long. We did see them over the holidays, but it's late, even though it's a Friday night. She's usually in bed early. As we get a second viewer, and my back is just really, you know what, I'm going to walk with the thingy into the kitchen. We've gotten some really nice late Christmas gifts. Christmas, and the start of the new year, works at a donation center. And so there's often, and like cannabis, for instance, like he says that, or I heard a story once, and it was, I know that there's all kinds of stories that are kind of like this, unfortunately, but it was, I think, one of those I can't remember the details. I think she was in BC though, and I can almost remember her name. It's actually, I think I sent her something on social media after I heard the story. And I know I mentioned it to Glenn, and I've also said something kind of about this, and he's always kind of like, well, no, and actually is very much against beer and alcohol. And so, okay, just a moment. And that's when this thing, it actually ripped off easy, so I think that's okay. So, but yeah, and again, having seen these, I don't even know if I watched it or just saw the title. There was also a video that was about performers that die during their performance or whatever. But my back is tighter than usual. Um, and um, um, so when we get a viewer, I'm gonna maybe guess that one of those situations. At the same time, I don't know, but what I was meaning to say is if any loved ones ever end up seeing this, and it's too hard to look back at, please know that I'm not forcing you to. However, the viewer that just tuned in, whether you just tuned in or you were here and came back, as may have happened, because there's only one showing at the moment, but there's been a few here and they left. I'm still mostly my usual attentive and curious type, but my goodness gracious me. So it could be a lot of things. Basically, what I'm getting around to is it's a Friday night, and as viewers come in, I'm not wanting to. I'm hoping that this method will be a way of hopefully getting some information. I mean, I guess some people might frantically start Googling themselves, but there's one thing that's making that a little bit hard, and then there's another thing that is that well, just what I'm going through in a way. But no, I have done it. I have done it with a couple. If everything ends up turning out to be fine, I don't know. I have to decide, should I keep this video up or not? But basically, so I'm just gonna, because it's been like when I'm thinking of different things, I was talking about my counselor and think somebody else today. It's easy to connect the dots, and if you ever did those as a kid or whatever, then maybe the brain kind of remembers it. I think it's also kind of natural. And basically, okay, I need to. I think I do need. Okay, I'm gonna just do my very best. We have one person watching to say the things that I feel are the problem. Maybe somebody's working on a comment. I hope. I don't know what to do here. And I'll just say this: that my loved ones and heck, the world. Especially people who are trying to be good people. In that, the world needs you. You are loved. And I wish you much success in your life. Man, that felt surreal. But I am just so. I'm sorry it's been so hard to get there, and nobody's been watching the whole duration. But I had about 4 or 5, which since I started sharing this channel with Glenn, for quite a long time, which feels like some sort of record. But basically, whether you have a medical background, that the person that just tuned in, or you know somebody that does, if you can bring them into this, and they left. Oh no, maybe they came back because maybe that was just a bit of a skippy or something. So I'm going to say, but I mean, my brain is kind of like that normally, but not quite like this. And so. But I'm just going to say symptoms that I'm experiencing right now, whether you're medical or know somebody that's medical that you can bring into the comment stream if that's possible, or call or text, and then get back to me, because I just feel like I need to be focusing on trying to make this video, and I'm not sure exactly what's going on. So basically, I've had some symptoms in the past hour or two, and again, I guess a lot of people might think if he's disabled, then he can just call for help. But I don't know if we don't have to have that happen in our evening tonight. I would rather it not. This might just require slowing down and relaxing and maybe getting sleep. It's been a pretty good evening. So I'm just going to say a bunch of things that are either disorders, things that I've noticed happening for me, things that I think they might be called. I don't have a lot of answers about this right now, and what's maybe causing it. Okay, and that's probably a great order, but it might not be the order I do. So prepare yourself for that. So basically, and I hope nobody. if anybody shares this because they're just trying to be a smart ass or whatever, and they're kind of like, but please hear this out first because this is serious, and you guys, don't know me, and you know, um, I almost in a way kind of glad this hasn't got any comments because if everything turns out to be fine, I don't know if I want to share this with the person who shares this channel with me for reasons mentioned in other videos. But at the same time, I don't know. I have a bit of a hoarding style. Not bad, not bad. And when you live with somebody else who isn't, you have to work with each other on that as best as you can. But yeah, and this is actually a nice size heating pad. Thought it was hot enough, but it's not really. So, but at the same time, I don't want to say the symptoms seem like they're lessening, but I almost feel like they are. Almost, maybe. I don't know. This is very strange. This is very strange. You know what? I don't want to worry even him. Like I say, I was just thinking if he doesn't have to know about it, he doesn't have to know about it. I have to decide right now. This is, again, I'm sorry I keep saying this, but I just want to make sure that you realize that it is. It's very real. Like I said, I'm actually curious. I've seen or not honestly watched a lot of them. Every now and then YouTube shows me, maybe I'll watch one and then every now or two and then every now and then it shows me, more of them, no matter what format of the browser. But basically, what was I going to say? 10:09, but it's a Friday. So whether, and I'm sorry if it's somebody who's came and went because somebody just tuned in, and if this seems redundant, I don't know if it's the same person, but anyway, they left. So I don't really want to do the part that I'm actually really trying hard to do, but I wouldn't even say I'm hyperventilating. Again, I'm not even sure, it's not that I don't want to burden. It's also don't want to worry, especially if this isn't actually as severe as I think it is, or as it seems like it is. Again, and I really, whether you know me or not, you may be quite worried at this point, and I do apologize for that. I would hope you are. I mean, at the moment it says no viewers, and some people have left, but if they're just tuning in and are not getting a sense of what's happening, because I'm not even really, then I get it. So I'm just gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen if I do this, and there's a part of me. I mean, this is something is happening here, and whether it's something that is well known about or not, if it feels like the world, I don't know. Again, this is not for entertainment. And I hope that you can respect that. One console to another, right? But I have never felt like this. For once I'm at a loss for words. Right, this is the one I have down here. These chapsticks have been playing with my elder too. But okay, yeah, I keep putting that one in there. That's right. So I changed some habits, mild habits that I do. But anyway, so okay, so I know what I want to say when we get the next viewer. But will I be able to say it at this point? I almost feel like, some people, they don't mind watching a long video. You look at when this is posted. I guess maybe it's not a bad idea, but it's just then you would get the notifications. This is a shared channel, and normally I mostly wouldn't mind that, but depending on what this is, I don't know. But okay, so I really hope that we get a viewer in soon, or a few. That's something I think has been a record since I started using the channel, or at least it's not happened much. I think I've made about 8 to 12 videos. I probably was in some with Glenn too, and it's all it's most always been lovely. We don't actually play a lot of music together these days, but I think over the holidays, even though it wasn't an awful lot, we did. But I'm just seeing my zero. I'm seeing zero viewers, zero likes. Which, thankfully, because even if I'm making a joke or whatever, and somebody might not know all the stuff that was before or after this, but basically, but I'm just thinking, if anybody came back, they maybe noted down the title of the video or whatever, and at some point in time plans to come back, and it's kind of going to be like, I don't want this to be the video that takes all the rest of my life to finish. What the heck's going on with this guy? And again, I don't entirely know. I have had a very verbal day, but at the same time, I'm also wanting to share the thoughts that are popping in my head that I'm able to process, and yeah. But I also feel partly like I want to just slow down. My mouth is getting very dry, and again, like I was on the phone a lot today, and I am slightly living isolated. When I was at work 8 hours, and every now and then I find someone to call, and I obviously am on the social media, but it's very hard at times. But anyway, basically, and again, I'm understanding why these things are coming out of my mouth as they are, and at the moment, a little after that, and some people, not that anybody's currently viewing, but it might tune in and think, and after all that, you just turned out to be drunk. But I mean, anybody who gets drunk more than me, which isn't hard to do, because I, and I think that I didn't select not for kids, but I mean, you know what, the kids have, even if they're not like alcoholics or hardcore drunkards, and drunkers is not the word I meant. Alcoholics or hardcore drinkers is what I think I meant to say. And I want to be careful, but it's bedtime soon, and as far as us getting notifications and it's a Friday too, but I guess we can do our best. But whether we have somebody just tuned in, and whether they have a medical background or know somebody that does, I'm just going to ask one human to another the dearest of favors. I don't know. There might be some people that have come in as they go. There may have been some people that have came and went and thought, what, this just seems like some kind of weird act, for attention or whatever. Because people do start to get certain impressions sometimes, about other people, and make certain, what do you call it, because of it. And that is kind of in a way usually how I usually talk. But then, but I would hope that something like this, if I seem like a cool enough guy, would make you think on the possibility that this isn't a joke. I'm not going to overreact as we get 2 views. I'm not saying I'm overreacting, but it just happened as I said the word. I'm going to wait to go back to this video, skip to different sections or whatever, and see if you can, I'm not doing this intentionally, but see if you can find the answer. Maybe that'll be something to do when you're bored, whenever, every now and then, right? But basically, as the viewer goes, but I'm going to keep rolling, because if somebody does that, then they'll do that, and I don't want to leave them hanging. The thing is, I do have a sense of humor, so people say, I want to believe he's being serious, and then suddenly he seems like he's joking, and with that, and again, people with certain backgrounds may be thinking, oh, it's just this, or it's just this. I'm not so sure. So basically, and I think he's going to be hopefully a little bit later. I just had to come into the dark room for a moment, because of sometimes doing something like this, and time can fly. Like, actually, but is this the opposite way than what I mean it? This has only been 29 minutes. It's started to feel like an hour. I'm going to have to send this to Deb as well, but I can't do that at the same time I'm doing this. Actually, maybe I could. No, because she has issues with her messengers, and that's really the only way I could do it other than going on Facebook, and it's all just too complicated. Um, at least here's the thing. Here's the thing. If I am dying or something really bad is happening, I hope that let's just say I. Oh my goodness, this is really quite an experience. Let's just say I did it with a. And I almost forget what I just said. I mean, why, really, the question is, if you're seeing this part, why would anybody, even some of the craziest of people, because we all have a definition of crazy, and I was gonna say we all are a definition of crazy, but and basically, why would the craziest of people come on the internet and do this? If they So I just, you know what? We don't have anybody viewing at the moment, but if somebody tunes in while I'm saying this, or they see it back, again, it's getting to the point where I am really quite struggling in some ways at some moments here, and I hope that any thoughts that have not seemed like complete thoughts, maybe you'll be able to piece them together. I am going to do what I said I was going to do as we get one viewer that just tuned in at the moment here. And I'm going to just say they left. And you know what? At this point, but this is the thing. There's a part of me that just wants it all to end. And there's a part of me that, well, as far as like life and doing this video tonight, but then there's also a part of me that wants to keep living. I said there was a part of me that doesn't want to feel better. Here's the thing, guys. People of the YouTube. I don't drink a lot. Like I think I mentioned earlier. Since 2020, for instance, I think that I have and I've never been an alcoholic, and I know some people, they just maybe denial, but no, I really, I'm a lightweight, I know that. I've never had interest in drinking to get sick, intentionally. And I actually never have drank enough to get sick that I can recall. I just need to take some water, though, and I do drink a lot of that. And the cystitis thing I was mentioning, Mm. Mm. I'm going to try something else, too, until we get a viewer come in, because this is, I feel, pretty important, and I want to be saying it when somebody's hearing it, and hoping that the right person's going to be hearing the right things to help me. It's just, I've been going through about an hour. Well, no, I started this, I feel, really as it was starting. So, again, I think, the second time I felt like, oh, it's not been an hour? No, it's been half an hour. Actually, it's been, 33 minutes. Anyway, see, it's like, are you medical? Are you Canadian? Because, do you have, I'm not, again, I can't say experience with addictions because this is not what that is. Basically, what I'm experiencing right now, and again, I'm going to try not to, especially with something like this, take it personally. Whether it's because somebody is feeling my pain too strongly and struggling to cope with that, whether it's somebody's getting the wrong impression of what's going on and I don't even know, kind of thing. Basically, and I'm very curious, like the person you just tuned in, have you, I know I don't mean to put you on the spot, but have you been watching this video earlier and came back and then you left? So, no, okay, my eyes are there was definitely a one there. Whether it just flickered again a moment ago, I'm not sure. So, and again, the thing is if anybody is going and coming back, even being legitimately worried, it's kind of like they're going to be, and I'm curious though. You know what? I am actually very curious to see what the comments would be. I hope that they're kind. I hope that they're helpful, or at least one of the two. You know, there's no need for otherwise in this world. And I just realized that I was going to clean and it's glass and I should be careful. Was going to clean the tray of the microwave, and there's a lot of stuff spilled. We cleaned it not that long ago, and but then I didn't want to be making a bunch of noise and water and exerting a lot of energy at this point while I was doing that. I might do that when he's playing the piano. Which if you're here during that, then you have that to look forward to. And it really is lovely. I often say that, and we live together, and I often say that, very fancy, very lovely, very soothing, this, that. I do and don't feel like I've been giving a vibe like I've actually get triggered to hear him play, though. And I feel terrible about it and it's for two reasons. One, because my music career you're learning about me lots anyway in this, has not taken off like I'd hoped. And some other things as well haven't. And my 30s have been especially hard. There's been good moments, don't get me wrong, but they have been especially hard. Again, also could be worse, it's true, but could be better. I'm 38. And basically, so, and again, I'm feeling that, part of it is I haven't slowed down. I am wondering if that's part of it. But I'm feeling like I'm going back into a swirly again. And so I need to I think I need to also, because like I say, this isn't entertainment. I just need to take a moment for, I guess, as they call self-care. Nobody's watching at the moment, and I hope this won't take long. I just need to, and I don't know even what it's going to look like, but I think it's going to be just breathing. We all have to breathe to live, and live to breathe sometimes, right? But there is really something to focused breathing. I'm trying to think if I've ever had an experience like this before, because there's been, I think, a couple times throughout this. And the only thing I can think of, and again, as I said in one of our recent videos, I don't really have much of a filter, and neither does Glenn sometimes, so, and anything can be on the YouTube. Please understand, we are never intending to make your children hear things that you'd rather them not. But here's the thing also. Every parent's different. A lot of parents have certain matching feelings, but, parents in general. But, I must say though, this video, even if it's me not at what I feel is really my best, is really encompassing a lot of my traits, and I look for the good qualities because I hope you see in them. And maybe that's something I needed to hear myself. Like, I have confidence because I know I'm good at some stuff, but it's kind of like, but then when I don't get to do as much with these things that I would like, then what was the point of being good at it? Being and getting good at it and all that stuff, right? That is very low lighting. I agree. It was just kind of getting to me, but that's another one of my sensitivities. So, but again, I'm also just being reminded that it's not really very nice, and certainly not my intent for anybody because this actually has been, and I am attentive. I'm always attentive to it, pretty much, but I don't feel I've seen it. Like, there's been, I think, 2 or 3 times in 39 minutes as opposed to an hour or just over an hour, where I think there's been 4 people at once. That was closer to the beginning. I just feel like the activity that it's been showing me along the top is a lot more active than usual. Then there's spurts where it doesn't indicate anybody's there. But basically, I just wanted, and I might continue this upstairs. We'll see. This is at 74%. So, and then, yeah. But again, I need to remind myself, breathe, drink water. especially as I'm kind of feeling this way. But I understand because I would want it as well. Like if I saw this video on the internet, I don't want to say that I don't want to talk myself up necessarily, nor do I want to talk myself down, which is weird because I actually recently saw TED Talks. And Ted could very easily be a trigger name in a couple of ways, but no offense to any Teds out there, but just with a couple I've known, and they're not like really, really bad people, but they're not great either. But and it's like, but which side of that is actually the strongest? But and hopefully it's the good side, and that's what you. So, but yeah, I would personally, what I was trying to say there is, if I saw this, I would see somebody who I would care enough about to, especially the ones that watched it for at least 2 or 3 minutes. I noticed that again as I've been doing this. It's rare. I feel like that, and hopefully if I never get this. Like that. I mean, I don't cuss a lot actually, and know that if you are new to the channel or whatever. But again, we don't have kids around us very often. It slips sometimes, But basically, I want people, because here's the thing, man. This is quite an experience. Quite an experience. I don't know. And again, it's not been as long as I thought, and I think I posted obituary links so I could post this to the group and people could see me in this. I could actually cross-post, whatever you call it, which I don't do very often. Can you tell I'm getting a little bit... I don't know exactly... I'm sorry, but I don't know exactly what this video... how it's going to end, and dying at 73%. An old young man, old soul. I mean, I'm thinking about. I shared it. Not a lot, but not what she said necessarily. But Isabel, if I say that, Deb will know what I mean. Glenn, I'm talking about Deb Swanson. She could get it to the group. Well, she would know the group. The only thing is damn. I've never tried Googling her name. I don't even know if I remember where she's from. And it's a group simply called The Afterlife, which, I mean, how common that is on the internet. And that's the thing, actually, like, I was working on a book project, and actually I wrote a scene today for the first time in ages. It was a short scene, but whatever. And, I'm really sorry as a viewer just came in, so they got, like, a few seconds of that, but I'm feeling again, like, 2 things. 1, I need to stop and take a breath and a sip of water. 2, I'm needing to try again to explain what's going on, because I don't know if it's obvious at this point to somebody who's, really smart, and, I don't want to say degrees or everything. I mean, I think in some fields, yes, like somebody once said, well, I'd want my surgeon to have a degree. It's like, yeah, of course. But, like, I have gained, and I'm not, and this is just water to water because I have some dental problems. This one's colder, and I was just adding it to room temperature so that I can drink it easier. And but again, part of me feels, am I saving lives as mine is ending? I mean, like Isabel's thing, was like that. I mean, I don't know how old my dad was when she passed away as an infant, but they couldn't have been that much further apart. Anyway, so, but again, it's really important for me to make sure that I keep trying as it comes to my mind to do so, because it's really, to say what I am guessing this is. And if it saves somebody's life who finds themselves in medical hands or whatever, well, yeah. Or if it, this could be a movie, but it's not. But I do support the entertainment arts, as a musician, I've done a bit of acting. It just feels like a lot of this is just kind of stacking up. All these, I don't want to say accomplishments or life experiences, things I've told myself, things I haven't told myself. There is something very cathartic that somewhat feels like an out of body experience that is happening. But I do feel like I'm being fairly coherent. So I mean, I'm going to take the fact that some people have not stayed very long at all. Some just happens on YouTube. I don't know if it's scrolling or what, and it's not. But so I mean, I may only be leaving you with a bunch of puzzle pieces at this point, and I actually shared on my Facebook a picture of the longest puzzle or whatever, biggest puzzle. I didn't do it, but I want to give you a few more pieces. So, I'm sorry, I just have to do something else really, really quickly. So, but again, you know, so I said it earlier, and I trailed off. I believe which makes me think that I'm still fairly okay, or I'm back to being fairly normal because I did pick up on that. But yeah, life is beautiful. Life is hard, and if there's any musicians watching this, maybe we could collaborate and write a song about this. And you know, collaboration is fun. You know, I'm a very fair guy. I've wanted to collaborate a lot more in my life. It's just the opportunities haven't been there. There's so many people wanting to do similar things because when we honestly come to think of it this way, to put it a little bit differently than I said it earlier today, we're all more alike than we are different, and I think that's even a lyric in some songs. Speaking of that, but I have to make sure that if I'm really, 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 really feeling incoherent, that it's that or feeling whatever you guys say, like call a doctor. You know, I don't know. This I think speaks to sorry to worry anybody, but who cares? You know, whether I realize it or not, and it would be nice too from the ones that aren't telling me. What are you waiting for? That was a little off key, and that, like I say, I don't usually get. I'm wondering if that's telling me something. I don't know. I don't. Here's the thing: if people are thinking, it's starting to sound like he's really just drunk and a little bit delusional. I mean, that may not be far off. I don't know if I should be real specific. I hope that, you know, I don't know how, like, you know, webcams, are they looking for brand names so that that they can actually make out like the whole time that it, because I know when I did movies, not a lot of background work, but I know that sometimes they'd have to cover brand names, and they were in the industry. So as much as I want to say that so I am in Western Canada. I don't know if I should say the chain. I don't want to blame them because if people just automatically panic this and that and it makes big news and it's really something that to a lightweight like me isn't going to be much worse than this, then I'd rather not cause the panic or whatever. Like I say, I'm not trying to do that, nor am I trying to be entertaining as I'm doing this. But so I hope that all made sense. But so I don't know if I should show the can. But and he did the math, and then he said he was wrong. It's actually 90, not like 300 a month. But that may or may not be, honestly, this is coming from me. But I've also had a very verbal day. I also said at one point a very phony day because I'm on the phone a lot more than I like on calls. I was just trying to get things done, get to some answers. I had an appointment, actually two, but and life's been hard, like especially in my 30s. You know, I'm 38, and yeah. So you'll just have to try and remember or take what as much as you can from this video, and walk away from it with. I mean, hopefully, at the end of it, good feelings. I mean, it's 49 degrees. It's 10:37. He may be down soon, but it's also a Friday, so you may no it doesn't work tomorrow. Um, but there's a bit of a routine in the house, and I'm just kind of thinking, well, this is when it usually shifts. But so I'm gonna do what I felt like I was. I've said some stuff that I'm thinking now. Oh, but this is important. No, wait, I did say that. So, and one thing I've been saying a lot is I'm going to say my symptoms. So, at the moment, really tight ribs. Well, not really tight, but and again, I realize, but I've said a few times. I don't know if this is like some sort of study on like something weird disorder or something. So if somebody heard that and they came back, whether they're medical or not, I mean, or most people probably know at least personally one doctor or nurse, or know it but don't know it kind of thing. But so I'm gonna do something I learned in my life called a body scan, okay? And I'm just gonna point out certain things that I'm noticing with whatever's going on this past not 2 hours hour. Okay, so at the moment, like say the ribs, and I have noticed when I lay on this side, and I looked it up. I think it had something to do with the abdomen and something else. It's just I feel like I'm all falling apart, and I'm not a hypochondriac. I mean, and the thing is that I mean I have some disorders that might go with that, but I mean, no, I am. Somebody told me today I'm very aware of things going on around, and that's obvious by the fact that, as per usual, I noticed we got a viewer, and in fact, you're the only one here at the moment. It's kind of been here and there, and if people have been commenting, I'm not seeing them, but I have the setting turned on for live chat. Although I noticed once, although I don't know if it was a glitch, that when I did a video, it and now I can't get that menu up. And they said, no, you did select it. You did select it. Focus on your video. Anyway, okay, so, and I want to try and make this as easy for somebody, like, I guess it's true. If somebody knows somebody that's having a medical issue, I don't know. Like, again, there are instances where you might not want to automatically jump to EMS, doctor, this and that, whether you live, and if you live alone, or you have the privacy to do a video like this, and you can kind of pace yourself with the decision. But basically, and again, I'm no doctor. I think I'm a smart person, but, but I'm just going to share this, and I'm going to try putting that in without the wheel because I didn't get a chance to wash it yet. I don't know if I trust that, but I'm feeling like I need it because it's usually my left rib, and I can't remember what I was experiencing, but for about a week or two, I was having some odd symptoms, and I surmised, there is a lot of accurate stuff on the internet too, and on Google and this and that, sometimes you have to look deep to find it, and sometimes it's just a different way of saying a different thing, but basically, no, that's right, that's too dark. Oh my goodness. So whoever's just tuning in, okay, I'm going to get to the nitty gritty here. I've been honestly trying. This has been interesting. I'll say that much. But can you please put a comment with, here's something to try, with the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay, you left. With what you've seen so far, which would have only been a few seconds. And, but again, maybe it was somebody who came and went. Like, it's not saying the names. If anybody that podcasts or has this view that I have, this lovely view, shows that it shows duration, viewers, likes, and then wouldn't it be funny if it just thought of like a gazillion? Just kidding. No, I don't. I'm honestly, I'm fine with, but again, never know. Right? I'm fine with like 50. Like, I'm almost thinking I might even send this to, I don't know, I'll have to think about this and decide. Because this may just be a bit of a reaction to a few things going on in my body and something I did tonight maybe even. And then everything would be fine. I mean, I talked with her in a couple of days, and did today. And it could also be because I'm not 100% that things that maybe I feel normally are feeling a bit different than they normally do. Um, so, I'm going to try and now go sequential and really summarize here. So, I had an early morning phone appointment. That's nothing weird. Then I did another quick call, almost back to back. This is actually testing me to see about having this kind of career. You know, there'd be other things I need to be able to try to be able to do it, and I don't know how to make this happen for, you know, me. Um, may not, you know, just like with other things, everybody has their own way sometimes, right? And I feel like even if some ways I don't, I feel like I'm meant to be, I guess what you'd call a maverick, or do some achieve things in either unconventional ways or ways that society. Okay, now I was thinking of the arts for a moment there, and I was thinking, you know, and even if you never get the answer, I hope that you get a lot from this video and your life is enriched. You know, um, but um, when it really becomes noticeable, I really need to. For the part of me that actually doesn't want to die while filming this video or anytime soon, you know, practice the self-awareness that that lady said I have, and I know I have strongly, or just awareness in general. And again, this is just one temperature water from one that's slightly warmer, I guess. Yeah, and I said it that way because it wasn't much different, but this particular, and yes, I do recycle these for anybody that's wondering, but so. Again, I think it's really important to do the body scan, and then I think to say what I think's caused it. Honestly, at this point, and then I'm just gonna, maybe you'll keep it rolling. He'll play piano. I will see how I feel after that, and we'll go from there. Um, and the longest video I think I've ever seen is 2 or 3 hours. Well, unless it's like a, well, what's the longest video you've seen on YouTube? Anywho, and I just realized actually that this is on and it doesn't need to be. And sometimes my phone kind of connects to it in different ways that it doesn't other times. Um, I wish I had noticed that sooner though. I don't like to have it on when I don't need it. But, so I'm going to do a body scan, like I said, then I'm going to say what I think is causing it. And it doesn't want to turn on off my Bluetooth, which is annoying, but okay, whatever. And now I've got cold water on my leg. Yeah, like I say, it wasn't that much different. And so I think I'm just going to put the rest of this in here because it's actually still kind of too cold. Although cold water might be really good for me right now, but anyway. Can't remember if I've ever not been able to get it to go off. And I did recently accidentally, and then I did it on the tablet with one app. But I don't think I don't think I use a lot of apps, but some things you don't think are apps are apps. Or one might not think are apps, and a lot of them are built-in things that you don't install or anything, right? I've often thought it'd be interesting to invent one. Actually, I don't know what type, but or types, but anyway. But I've started to open up things, so I don't want to mess with that. Okay, so I'm gonna get to it, folks. I'm gonna get to it because personally, I know that this life. Again, and I haven't seen the worst of the worst, thankfully. I really am thankful. But compared to many people, and there are some of us like this out there, right? Things haven't been as easy or smooth as it could be. Again, though, like, you know, like my 20s weren't bad. And I actually was thinking about some of the stuff I did back then, too, because I was getting reminders. But the 30s. And that's something, a realization that I think only, I was going to say this year, but that's 3 days so far. But less than 2 months ago, less than a month ago maybe, that I realized is that, you know, especially in my 30s, or mid to late 30s, and that's maybe worth exploring at some point. But so, and maybe with each part, I'll say what I think is causing it. Okay, so and then I'll just look at my phone for the rest of this, and yeah, good night. Okay. But again, I am someone who has a sense of humor, so even through all this, it's there. It's there, and life is hard, like I say sometimes, and so sometimes it's needed. It's the best medicine. When you're laughing, that's not in someone else's. When it shouldn't be. When the whole world's smiling. I'd love to be singing some. You know, I did. I think I briefly sung a couple times, and there's nothing maybe super clear, but whatever.